Okay, I'm back. Going to try to get my readings in for the day. Of course, I have cards laying everywhere here. This is actually going to be a different reading. My Lenormand reading looking great. I love the way these Lenormand readings have been coming out for me. So, and they've been pretty accurate here lately. I think it takes a little while for you to kind of get used to it and see what's going on. Either way, this is going to be a tarot reading, so I'll shut up about the Lenormand cards. I'm going to set them over to the side. Um, I've done something a little different today, actually. Well, let me stick these to the side. Um, I do this every now and then just to see which deck is reading the best for me at the moment, or just to see what different decks have to say. And it so happens that this is my Tarot Dreams deck. I used it a while back. It was very very accurate for me. It's been, I don't know, probably 3 years ago, something like that. I've used it, and of course I've got my Deviant Moon deck, which was it's been really really accurate for me. I'm trying to adjust my mic here. Um, anyway, I just wanted to pull these out and see what each deck had to say. Basically for what's going on for the day. A lot of times, they'll work well with each other, and then there's times like today where they don't seem to be working with each other at all. So, and of course, it can always describe different situations. I'm having a microphone problem. This headset doesn't want to cooperate sometimes with me. Okay, anyway, uh, of course, again, I've had days where I've had the exact same cards come up, so that's pretty cool. That's not real often, but it does happen with different decks. Anyway, the first deck I'd use was my Tarot Dreams deck right here, and what I got for it, and of course this I think is going to be using the numbers on different levels or different parts, aspects of your life when the readings are completely different. Um, so that kind of works well. I've got the Seven of Swords here. Oh, Mr. Sneaky Guy. And I've got the High Priestess card. It's reversed. Bingo. Reversed. And I got Judgment. And it's also reversed. Not a real good deal, but, that's how things work. Obviously, something needs to be worked on and completed, and it's not quite time to make a move yet on something. So, with that, I got a 29. That comes up to an 11. See, I have a 7, a 9, and a 20. 29. 11 happens to be a master number, and it does deal with a lot of intuition, psychic ability, and a lot of different things in that aspect. And with that central card being the High Priestess and her being reversed, there's a very very strong pull there to tell me to listen to my intuition, follow my intuition, very strongly with that. So on that aspect of my life, and something that of course is going to be that needs to be completed before moving on, definitely needs to be looked at. But over here I have 19, and I don't count my court cards. Well, let me first of all, I have got right there, that's the big old Five of Pentacles. And central card, excellent, beautiful. 19, the Sun card. That's awesome. Love seeing that card. And I have the Queen right here of Cups, and she happens to be reversed. There it is upright. So with that right there, I've got the 19 and I got 5, so that's 24, and that's going to be about 6. And 6 is a lot about taking care of family and taking care of business and so forth within the home and around the home. Um, so I think that's going to relate to that, of course, with these particular cards. So that gives me a view of two different things within the day. So anyway, I'm going to start off here. I got the Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords is Mr. Sneaky. You see he's got some swords there. He's sneaking out. Usually with that card there, I get it seems to be a whole lot of, like I said, sneakiness with that card right there. It's not always bad, because of the fact that there could be a situation or something like in your life where you need to be basically kind of sneaky to or It depends on the situation, you know. It's where you might need to do something that's really unexpected. That's also this deals also with jobs too. Um, when this comes up, there could be somebody that's trying to sneak out of a job. I do get that a lot with that card, for some reason. Even though I mean it's a sword, but it seems like maybe somebody's trying to get out of work or sneak out of a job, something like that. Um, so that could very well be the case with that right there today. Um, Especially the fact that I think that actually it was Michelle's day off, but she's called on call all the time. So you know, thinking it was a day off, we was getting ready to leave and go do a couple of things, and the phone rings, and she had to go to work. So either way, uh, there's also you know, some an escape that comes up. You know, the guy has a sword. You see him; he's like sneaking off and so forth. So you do need to watch about something being sneaky, but it's about doing something especially unexpected. And like I was saying, if it's something in a good situation, if there was a good situation, which it doesn't look like things are very good right here, uh, um, for these cards with the Tarot Dreams deck. In a good situation with that card, it would be more of basically where things that you were meant supposed to do that were expected and so forth. Basically, you be a little kind of sneaky or whatever, or doing something unexpected to kind of throw people off guard. Basically, you know, to help yourself. Um, in a situation, not necessarily to be negative or whatever. This is also the thief card when it comes up. So, but more than anything, this is kind of taking advantage of somebody. Somebody sneaks off. They're doing something unexpected. They use, especially with air, their words or whatever. You know, they tell lies and manipulate whatever to kind of get their way over people. You know, it's kind of a almost feeling like you been cheated or had something um, taken away from you. So either way, you know, an uneasiness that always comes up with that Seven of Swords right there. Now the central card I have here, Major Arcana card, the High Priestess. It comes up reverse, and always when it comes up reverse, it is telling me that you definitely need to pay attention to your intuition. So it's sitting beside this card right here. Definitely telling me if there's somebody you need to watch, somebody that could be really sneaky. You need to, if you get any kind of messages or so forth, you need to pay attention to those messages. But mainly it's about not listening to that inner voice, that intuition. Okay, it's a lot of times also this can be somebody that basically they kind of work off of they're shallow and seem to work more on prejudice or bias instead of somebody who's genuine from working from a more inner spiritual person. It comes up with that card right there. So that's something, and again, that seems to be a manipulation seems to come kind of deal with this card also with that right there. And with that sitting next to that one there, this would say this is going to mean something that's going to create some kind of situation that's going to last for a lot longer time. This being a Major Arcana card, even though today is basically the start of that situation where things are going to move forward um, later on with that sneaky situation that seems to be going on there. But basically, like I said, whatever it is that's going on, you're not paying attention to that. You know, trying to over rationalize everything, and any kind of problems or issues that come up, you're using more rationalizing than basically going on what you feel, or maybe you're a bit biased towards one way or another, or you have, like I said, somebody around me or myself, you know, whatever. So that seems to be the main central issue for the day, since I lay them out in threes. I always see that as a central card. Now the last card here is the Judgment card. The Judgment card, being number 20 there, is normally, it's basically about, you know, your calling. When that card seems to come up, um, it's, you know, upright. It seems to be more up. It's a time of ending and so forth that seems to come about. And I constantly want to think about the Druidcraft deck, where uh, um, it's basically it's a rebirth, and like a milestone coming out of a situation or life, and you're moving on to something bigger and new. But anyway, when it comes up reversed like that, there seems to be some kind of transition that's coming about, that seems to be more negative. Um, Maybe something new that is coming about, especially with this situation right here that's going on, this new transition that's going to show up. uh, uh, there's some type of termination that's going to happen, and it's unwanted. It's not wanted. This is not really like the death card, but is a death in a way, more on a deeper spiritual level. But delays can come up and create some issues. But normally this is going to be a past situation, okay? Uh, because the fact that it being the card number 20 of 21 cards of the major arcana, it's always up in the very end uh, of the major arcanas there. So, you definitely, that's something that definitely has to be looked at. But basically, it's kind of facing consequences of decisions that you have made in the past. You're not quite able to go on through and complete something, and it's going to there's things that still need to be done, basically, to reach some kind of decision, or something that some kind of change that has to happen within your life, and it's not happening yet. And when that comes up, there is the possibility of this happening and you not being ready. Kind of reluctant to let go of something in the past so you can move on and move forward. So that's going to be it for my tarot dreams for the day. Now, on my Deviant Moon deck here, I've got the number 5 of Pentacles right here, and this is basically about, I get a lot of this with poor thinking, so to speak. Even it does deal with poor health and poor thinking and so forth. A lot of, or poor health and financial issues, kind of down and out type situation. But a lot of times this is created because of the fact of the thought process. There's a lot of fears when that comes up. That card right there is about fears, and being afraid to maybe accept and allow yourself to have things. But this card is a loss and disappointment, about hardships and uh, 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 lack of assets, I'm going to say, instead of just finances. There's things that are missing and so forth. Seems to be an issue. Uh, again, that's always a situation there. you know, Usually I get with this one, somebody who's left out in the cold a lot of times, because of the fact that the original Rider-Waite Smith has somebody who is out in the cold and so forth, and they look like they're hungry, and it's basically, I get with this, it's time to basically stop and take a look and reassess your life and take a look at things and say, okay, this isn't working, instead of crying poor me and thinking all about the negative things and attracting yourself to those negative things. It's about making that switch and making that turn to try to get yourself out of this situation. But currently that seems to be the frame of mind for, like I said, somebody around me. I don't think this is myself, but either way, I mean, it could be about something. But definitely more than likely hearing from somebody that's under a lot of financial strain, or they're having a lot of hard times. I get a lot of financial worries and problems with this card right here. So next to this central card, beautiful, the Sun card. Well, makes perfect sense. It's cold out. We live in North Carolina, so the wind's blowing. It's freezing cold out. But it looks beautiful out. You look out, it's nice, the sun's shining, it's looking wonderful, which I get that Sun card a lot when it's going to be like sunny out and so forth, but normally it's really warm. But to look out the windows, you think, man, it's beautiful out there. But anyway, this is all about success, some kind of success and fulfillment, and that seems to be a connection there. Maybe there's somebody that has success or whatever, and they're trying to maybe get it to this person's head. That's a good possibility that there's a connection there. But this also deals about children. But more than anything, it's confidence and success, fulfillment. Things happen that are basically a ray of sunshine that seems to come into your life. about happiness and celebrations, and being very optimistic, and achievements, good fortune seems to come about. Health is a good thing, as opposed to this one over here where somebody's having bad health. Somebody else, everything seems to be good to go and happy, and I'm seem to be connecting with this spread a lot, so this could have a strong connection with me on that for the day. But a lot of times you can spend time with friends and so forth, and things work out well, or anything in that manner. Things just seem to be going very, very well. This is also the father card. You know, the father and babies that connect with this card here, and of course, I stay home and work from home. I take care of the kids, and I'm home with the kids today, so yeah, could be the deal there. So anyway, Queen of Cups, Queen of Cups. I can't talk. Queen of Cups comes up reversed. Now this is not a real good deal. This is telling me that somebody's going to become very, very emotional. You see this card? It's flipped up, and the first thing I get is that cup that's kind of standing out to me on that. That pouring out of emotions, and it seems to kind of be dumping on me. So it's dumping. Somebody's going coming up with a lot of you know emotional issues that's going on within her life. And a lot of time, this can be a woman. Normally, it's a woman when I get with the kings and the queens. So there's going to be a woman that seems to be kind of dumping out on you, being extremely sensitive, a little bit too oversensitive with some kind of situation. Maybe they were put in a situation where they seem to be gullible and fall for something. Either way, there's some kind of poor judgment that comes on with this also. All those are kind of intertwined and mixed together because the judgment's clouded, not thinking logically. A lot of false hopes. This is just not somebody that's really reliable, but with the Cups, it seems to be more, again, shallow. I'll get more with this card. This can be somebody that does seem to be charming, and they talk and blah blah blah, but they're not very deep. They're very shallow, and they got emotional issues. You know, such as a woman that happens to love too much. If you met people like that, or but either way, this is kind of like. You need to watch out for a friend that only comes around when they want something. This is a card that stands out to be that way. And this could, of course, be a male too, but it can always, usually I'll get the kings and queens, a male and female, but they could be acting on more of their emotional side, so it could be a male. But it's basically somebody that comes around, like I said, when they want something, when things are going well or they're wanting something, they boom, there they are. What they call a fair weathered friend. But again, you know, you might be hearing about somebody that's being unfaithful also when that comes up. A whole lot goes on with all the cards in tarot, but it seems to be, like I said, I get a lot of emotion pouring out that seems to come along with that. This one here coming up reversed, I get kind of a personality issue where there, I don't know, maybe there's some kind of psychosis that deals with a person, or they seem to be flip flop, kind of a borderline type personality, um, in that type of situation. So anyway, usually, you know, like I said, it's going to be an emotional type deal when it's reversed, and somebody who seems to be self-indulgent. They're busybody. I get with that card there. So that's going to be my read for the day, and I know I've stretched that one out with all 6 cards. I want to go ahead and get this over with. I thank you for watching. I'll be back.